Alright, we got it. I know nothing about this one either. Just that, been seeing it on Twitter for a minute. Although I haven't seen many updates lately. Let's check it out. May 14th, 25 miles outside New Orleans. I'm dying. If it's not this hellish heat, it's this horrid humidity or these monstrous mosquitoes. It's going to be this walk that kills me. Why the hell did the bus drop me off 3 miles from where I needed to be? It's ridiculous. Now I'm left trudging through air so humid it feels like walking through molasses. And for what? So I can apply to work at a fucking shrimping business? Shrimp. You're literally Forrest Gump, you dumb bastard. Shrimp. Shrimp. It's not like it was my idea. It was my mother's. Oh, look, honey, there's a fishery that could use someone smart like you. You can finally use that fancy degree in fish science you got. Maybe we'll even eat a nice lady out on the seas. Fish science is what my mom calls my goddamn undergraduate in marine biology. She just doesn't get it. She thinks a fishery just vaguely means research. Around these parts, it just means fishing. Just fishing, and it's not even fishing. It's shrimping. Well, shrimp are still kind of cool. Not as cool as whales, though, which aren't fish. But if it swims in the ocean, it's fair game to throw under the marine biology umbrella. I choose to ignore the comment about meeting nice ladies at sea. Anyway, I know deep down she just wants what's best for me. Honestly, I've been stagnating. Graduated and can't land a job in my field. Never got lucky enough to get an internship, despite the dozens of attempts and interviews. Need experience to get my foot in the door. Need my foot in the door to get experience. A classic conundrum for my generation. So, that's why I decided to listen to her for once. So I updated my resume, donned my finest interview wear, a polo and slacks, and got a bus ticket to this place. And so I want to die. I made it a quarter of a mile before deciding that I feel, besides very sweaty, only regret. My masculinity and ego took me another mile before the humidity and the cramping of my calves eroded those to irrelevance. So now I'm leaning against a tree on the side of the road, hoping a lightning bolt strikes me down and ends my suffering. Perhaps a particularly big mosquito will come along and suck me dry like a Capri Sun. Either way, death is the only way out. I turn my head as the sound of a loud engine approaches. Dear Lord, God is real, I'm saved. The bus is coming back. I can just go back home and tell Mom it was another bust. Mediocrity may suck, but at least I can be mediocre inside, where there's AC. The roar increases in volume as the vehicle turns the corner, and to my dismay, is not public transport. It's just a truck. The relief that was swelling in my heart hardens and turns to lead, becoming a brick in my gut. Fuck. So much for getting out of this, I guess. Guess I'll just wait. The truck is slowing down. Maybe it's not over. The large truck keeps its pace at first, but begins to slow down further. I assume due to the driver realizing my sweaty ass is standing on the side of the road. It slows to a crawl before finally stopping directly in front of me. I gaze up the driver window as the window rolls down and the driver poking their head out. She turns her head and snout out the window, eyes of crimson and amber peering at me. Hey there, sir. What the hell are you doing all the way out here? I'm guessing right. If I'm guessing right, she's a Darudan. Darudan? I might not know my terrestrial dinosaurs for shit, but I know marine dinosaurs. Well, She's technically not a dinosaur, more like ancient cetacean. Oh, he likes whales. Hey, you good? Her skin is mustard yellow, not really yellow. Not that really yellow shit they put on hot dogs, but more like the pleasant shade of Dijon. I didn't know that Derudins could even be that color. And man, that hair. Fiery red. That demands my attention. Complete with an attractive braid that runs down the back of her head and comes back into view as it hangs over her shoulder. Hey! That voice, too. Definitely feminine, but with a soothing huskiness to it. Wait. Oh shit, I've been staring at her. Activate emergency spaghetti. In an instant, I raise my hand in a placative manner. Sorry. Oh, End? Is his name Andy or just End? We'll find out. I'm so sorry. I've been walking this road for the last half an hour. I think the heat's getting to me. I thought you were a mirage or something. She squints her autumn-tinted eyes at me, looking me up and down for several seconds. Walking? Why the hell are you walking on a road dressed like that? You look like you tried to sell me something. You're not going to try to sell me something, are you? Her question catches me off guard, making me bust out in a nervous laugh. A welcome feeling when my whole day so far has been steeped in anxiety and misery. And sweat. So much sweat. No, not a solicitor. I have an interview. I'm trying to get to an interview at a place near here. The bus kind of dropped me off a bit further than I thought it would. Oh. That wouldn't happen to be the Hartley Fisheries that you're talking about, would it? Well, how the hell did you guess that? She raises her eyebrow again, with an almost incredulous smirk. Honey, it's the closest place to where we're at. I sure hope you ain't going further than that. Yeah. Alright, that makes sense. Guess the heat really is getting to my head. Well, you're certainly right about where I'm heading. But I'm sorry to bother you, ma'am, but I got another mile and a half to slog through to drop off my resume. Begin the walk that way, but the truck continues to idle forward along with me. I stopped again and look up at her, about to say something before she cuts me off. Now, can't have an esteemed applicant using all his energy up on this lovely walk. Need him tip-top shape for the interviewing process. Applicant. Wait, does she work for the place I'm trying to get an interview at? My thoughts are interrupted by the sudden opening of the car door, the larger than I anticipated woman hopping down from the driver's seat onto the pavement. Woman be shrimping. That big lady. Boop the snoots right there. Boop it. Holy shit, she's huge. And I'm a bit above average in height and as far as humans go, yet she towers over me. She's gotta be at least 7 feet tall, maybe taller. She's wearing a simple outfit of jeans, boots, and a gray tank that says "Women be shrimpin'," which makes me chuckle. She ain't just big in height, though. She's built like a brick shithouse. Like if you combine the body of a linebacker with the body of a trucker, she is most definitely plump, but under all that plushness, you can tell she's kind of has the kind of muscles earned through a lifetime of hands-on strenuous work. Before my eyes can wander down her body further to respectfully observe the rest of her appearance, my common sense gets the best of me, my eyes tactfully returning back to her face. I hadn't noticed it when she was up in her truck, but her mouth is kind of fucked up. The left side of her mouth seems to have been badly wounded at some point, leaving her lips scarred and her molar teeth partially exposed. Despite her physical appearance, being that of someone I should be frightened of, especially being stuck out here in bumfuck Louisiana, the warm smile spreads across her snout, does wonders to assuage any of my anxiety. I can't help but feel the worst part of the day is over when the warmth of her presence and the friendliness of her smile. I decide to take the initiative, walking up to the Durden and extending my hand out for a handshake. She beams at my pep, extending her own hand to meet mine. Before our hands make contact, I notice two things. First, she's missing half a thumb on her right hand, and the second, she's definitely blushing a bit. Maybe my respectful observation of her appearance was not as subtle as I'd thought, though that smile currently spread across. I'm not sure she minded it. Our hands meet, forming a tight grip. I get the impression that she could pulverize my hand if she wished. So I silently offer thanks to the Lord that she's keeping her strength in check. NDT Erminate. Okay. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to meet you. Abilene Hartley. Abilene Hartley. Okay. And likewise, sugar. Abilene Hartley. The place I'm trying to push my resume off onto is named Hartley Fisheries. The dots connect. She doesn't just work there, she owns the fucking place. Well, I guess she did call me her applicant earlier. I don't suppose you're the person I'm supposed to be giving my resume to? I'm suddenly feeling a bit smaller now that I'm really aware of who I'm talking to. The one and only. Though let's save that for when we get back to the shop. When we get back? She cocks her head, giving me a confused look alongside a small smile. What do you expect me to do? Leave you out here to walk the rest of the way? While I sit doing nothing at the shop waiting for you anyway? Merciful and practical. If I actually get this job, it seems like she'll be a good boss. I walk around the other side of the truck, climbing up inside after Abilene swings the door open for me. How chivalrous. Abilene tosses strays, papers, and random trash out of the passenger seat, looking at me with a smile and giving me a pat. If there was any feelings of intimidation left in me, they certainly gone now. After I sit down and buckle up, the smell of lavender fills my lungs. A perfume she wears, maybe? I don't see any car fresheners hanging around. Either way, it's preferable to the smell of shrimp. She turns to me, a small smile on her snoot. Ready? Yes, ma'am. All good. She pulls back into the road. Sugar, you don't call me ma'am. Abilene works just fine. Understood. Another thing I happened to notice when I sat down was that her tail was huge. I knew that generally aquatic saurians and other ancient bipeds have larger tails than their terrestrial relatives, but her tail might be the biggest I've ever seen in person. The driver's seat is less of a chair and more like a frame with the headrest so that her tail can slide through and the rest in the back seats. It just so happens to notice her tail has parallel stripes that run down its length. They're earthen brown, pleasantly contrasting against her yellow skin. What are all these wonderful patterns created by nature for, if not for appreciation? The glint of jewelry also happens to catch my eye in the light, pulling my attention to the left fluke of her tail, which has 3 golden hoops pierced in the trailing edge. My curiosity is getting the best of me. I gotta see if my guess was right. Maybe she wouldn't mind if I ask her. I clear my throat, readying myself to make an educated guess and hopefully score some brownie points with my maybe soon-to-be boss. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you're a Derudin, right? A look of genuine surprise crosses her face. Shit, Indy. That's not something many dinos would know, let alone a human. She purses her lips for a moment before smiling once again while I mentally pump my fist, elated that my degree actually hasn't gone to waste. You got a thing for whales or something? My cerebral celebrations fall flat at her verbal jab. I feel warmth flash across my face and settle nicely on my cheeks, letting her know that her comment made the exact effect she intended. With a monumental amount of effort, I turn to face the perpetrator of the teasing transgression and find that a massive grin has found its ways across her snoot, exposing her rows of serrated teeth. Why does everyone say that? My classmates said it. My friends say it. My family says it. Now this random woman says it. Whales are cool, goddammit. I do not have a thing. Fuck this. I had enough of it. The camel's back is officially broken. I'm going to give this lady, potential boss or not, a piece of my mind for it. Yeah, well, if they're as pretty as you. The truck falls in the silence, save for the sounds of the engine turning and tires on pavement. Why the fuck did I say that? That was my peace of mind? I just openly hit on the person I'm interviewing with for a fucking job. Am I stupid? Am I deficient in some way? Was I born smooth-brained moron? Or did something make me this way? Embarrassment begins to rapidly boil in my gut like a deep fryer being filled with ice cubes. I'm fucked. She's probably going to dump my ass onto the pavement and leave me for the Skeetos. I'm going to need a lot of booze when I get home to forget this one. Assuming if I make it back alive. But, to my never-ending surprise for the day, that doesn't happen. Instead, that I find her face has turned a shade of red that matches her fiery hair. Her eyes are wide and her lips thin as she processes my words. Isn't she supposed to be killing me or something? Finally, after what feels like an eternity, a nervous smile slowly splits her snoot. Well, if you're that eager to start working with me, sweetheart, we can just skip the whole interview and ragamuffin and get you started training as soon as we get to shop. Huh? What? Did I just actually get the job? Am I fruity and slipping my interviewer? What bullshit is this? That's not how real life works. Yet here I am, all of a sudden about to start my first day of work. I'm not sure how to process all this, let alone the fact that she apparently wasn't offended nor creeped out by what I said. These past 3 years of trying to find a job with no luck must have stored up some serious good luck, because I'm using all of it today. The rest of the short car ride is spent in silence as she fidgets in her seat, and I sit there dumbfounded while my brain blue screens. Arriving at her destination, Abilene pulls the truck off onto a parking spot, shutting the truck off. The business is seemingly made up of two interconnected buildings. The one on the left seems to be a large warehouse, likely where all the actual equipment is stored and maintained. The building has a sign that says Hartley Fisheries in faded and chipped red paint, and at the bottom it can make out established 1962. Geez, this is a real family business. Not a lot of these left around these parts. The other building is smaller with various signs on the front donating the services they provide: bait, fishing equipment, and clothes, tours, and gifts. When one thinks of places like this out in the country, you'd assume things are generally pretty slow, but there's plenty of business present. Families are moving in and out, visible excitement on their faces. My concentration is broken as Evelyn clears her throat, any look of embarrassment from that incident now missing from her face. Welcome to your new home, Indy. Her smugness is worn plain on her face. New home. Oh boy, I might have flirted off more than I could chew. I must be wearing my consternation on my face because she quickly follows her quip up. Don't worry, we'll keep real easy today, sugar. How's about I show you around, let you meet everybody? Can answer any questions you got. I think all better taking over a couple of days, so you can absorb it all proper like in your head. Once again, she quells my anxiety with that saccharine southern speak of hers. She begins to show me around, starting with the store. As she walks around, she expertly weaves between customers, merchandise, and shelves. Despite her size, she has a definite grace to her. As I trail behind her, I can't help but notice that she has 3 massive scars on her back that peek up out of her tank top, seemingly running from the bottom left of her back to the right shoulder blade. But it's not just those scars either. The left lateral fin on her tail is mostly missing, leaving a ragged line of scar tissue. While she was pointing things out around the store, I noticed that her left hand is worse off than her right. She's missing most of her pinky and ring finger, and a bit of her middle finger too. Ooh, we're gonna have a tragic backstory. How battle damaged is this woman? Does she just physically fight anything and everything that gives her trouble? Part of me can't help but be fascinated by them. I've already pushed my luck hard today, though, so I'll just leave it alone for now. The two of us make small talk the entire way, her asking all sorts of mundane questions about my life, while I attempt the same back to her. Unsurprisingly, most of her answers involve shrimp in some capacity. Forrest Gump comes up. There it is. There's the reference. Something tells me I shouldn't make the joke. However, my gut has done good for me today, so I'll just keep listening to it. Eventually, we arrive at the front desk, where she introduces me to her sister-in-law, Annabelle. Abilene walks away to go to the bathroom, leaving me with Annabelle. We quickly hit it off, as she seems so much more of a city person like me. Eventually, the curiosity I attempted to suppress earlier rears its head, and I decide to question Annabelle to gauge whether or not all those scars are a no-go or not. Yeah, all those scars and shit she got, are those okay to ask about? I don't want to actually offend her or something, but I'm really curious, and she's covered in them. Annabelle laughs before giving me a couple of gentle pats on the back. Andy, that woman will use any excuse you give her to talk about them. Just ask her, she'll love it. Hell, she'll even tell you to think they're... Hell, if you tell her you think they're cool, she'll probably just hire you on the spot. Oh, I already made a pass at her, and she hired me from that, so... She kind of already did. Annabelle raises her eyes at that. A small smirk at the edges of her snoot. Now, how'd you manage that? Oh, sweet talker. You know. I'm taking that answer to my grave. There's no way I'm letting anybody know that I somehow wooed my way into this job. I seduced her with my hot bud. A strong resume and a firm handshake? Her eyebrows raised in suspicion, about as far above her eye as it can get. But eventually she relents to my answer, shaking her head and chuckling. Suddenly she exclaims, Wait a second. If you do ask her about all those scars, don't. Before she can finish her warning, the thudding of boots behind me alerts us to Abilene's return. Okay, let's get going. Now donning her work clothing, Abilene turns away to continue the tour. Annabelle and I share a look, with her giving you a concerned stare. Oh no. Don't! What'd she mean by that? The both of us bid Annabelle farewell and exit the store through a side door, entering what I believe to be the big warehouse. Inside is a large boat suspended out of the water. The name of the vessel, Kraton, is on pristine red along the side. Admittedly, I don't know a lot about fishing, shrimping, or boats, but I tried my damnedest to ask questions as well as slip in some compliments about the well-maintained state of the vessel and its equipment. Abilene seems to beam at that, so I use this as my chance to slake my curiosity. You mind if I ask you something a bit off topic? She seems a bit surprised at first about my question, but the warm smile on her face tells me she's happy to answer. I think the easiest way to get around it would just be like, listen, how safe is this job? And I don't want to be rude, but, you know, there's bits of you missing. Are there going to be bits of me missing after the summer? I think that's a fair question. It's bothering you, hun? I mean this as respectfully as possible, but I couldn't help but notice those scars. Would you mind if I asked about them? She sits there a second before tilting her hips to the left and placing her hand on them. A meek smile sits on her snoot, a far cry from the reaction I expected based on what Annabelle said. She was trying to warn me about something. Shit, I might have fucked up. Listen, I appreciate you trying to do what Annabelle says, but you don't gotta go trying to get on my good side. Huh? Do what Annabelle says. Get on her good side. That's not... I think there might be a misunderstanding. Wait, what Annabelle said? I know she told you to ask about him. She tells all the new people to ask me, so I'll like him more. You don't gotta worry about that. I like you plenty. I squint my eyes, looking around as I process her words. I decide honesty is the best course of action. Yes. No. This wasn't Annabelle's idea. Well, I did run it by her to make sure it'd be okay to ask, but I've been wondering the entire time. Those are some seriously badass scars. I bet there's a killer story behind them. She sits there, those sunset irises scanning my face for any hints of dishonesty, her search coming up empty. After several moments, that butterfly-inducing smile returns, alongside a flushing of her cheeks and snoot. You're a lady killer, you know that, sweetheart. I open my mouth to respond, embarrassment from her comment rapidly building, but she cuts me off. First things first, let's get the tour done. Save all the fun for the end of the day. With that, our tour resumes. She wasn't in a bad mood before, but there's definitely a pep in her step now. Almost like she's trying to rush through the rest of the tour. Not only that, but she has definitely been sneaking wayward glances my way when she thinks I can't see them. Oh boy, what I got myself into. After all I said and done, I now have a general idea of the layout of the whole compound and my job, as well as a new work outfit they gave me, since I was pretty sure I was going to die in those polo and slacks. They even gave me a baseball cap that says, "Women want me, shrimp fear me," which I put on after a lot of goading from everyone. As for the layout of the area, the storefront and the warehouse on the street side of the property. Yeah, spam. Let's go. Hold on. There we go. It's all taken care of. Ban. Yeah. Okay, now we continue. As far as the layout of the area, the storefront and the warehouse are on the street side of the property, while the docks and houses are on the lake side. Alright, I gotta sit up straight. Slouching's getting to me. Abilene runs the whole business with the help of Abigail and Atticus, her sister and brother, as well as his wife, Annabelle. God damn. We got Abilene, Abigail, Atticus, and Annabelle. Atticus and Annabelle have 2 kids as well, though they generally only help with small things. Abilene's even set up a small apiary off the edge of the property. She says she started it because she likes tending to the bees, or she has to have a big bee suit. But with the plentiful amount of lavender flowers around the area, the bees started making lavender honey. Ooh. So now they smell them in the gift shop. First come, first serve, and expensive to boot. Yet she insisted I take a jar of the stuff for free. I'm starting to feel more like a tourist than a freshly employed man. I see Bubble Bubba off-brand. I see tackle boxes. No fish today. Boo. My job is to essentially be Abilene's first mate. I'll help her out running the tours during the off season, then I'll help her do shrimping runs when the shrimping season opens. Unfortunately, everything I'm going to need to know for the job will be needed to learn on the job. Once again, my diploma has proven to be the world's most expensive paperweight. That's not true. With marine biology, like, goddamn. You always have, like, the very least, you can fuck off to the Pacific Northwest and work with salmon. There's a huge need for scientists out there for that shit. Abilene must have picked up on my dismay because she swore that a book-smart college boy would be great for answering questions during the tour. Her attempt to make me feel useful did at least make me feel a bit better. Though I overheard her talking with Atticus, mentioning something about how having a skinny on staff will be great for getting skinnies to take the tour. So overall, I'm feeling sort of excited. After the whole shebang finished up, Abilene refused to let me leave until I had a beer with her to celebrate my new employment. I'm not the biggest fan of beer, but after a day spent following her around in the heat, I could use a refreshment. The both of us just sat down on the docks, cheap beer in hands. The sun is low in the sky, bathing the horizon in hues of pink and red, and a chorus of frogs and crickets provide a lovely backdrop of noise for our conversation. Following the crisp sound of a cold one being cracked open, Abilene questions me about the day. So, how you feeling? Not too much for one day? Nope, I think I'm all good. And again, thanks for the clothes and the nice hat. I actually felt human again after changing. She lightly chuckles at my response, then lets out a small sigh. Good. Don't worry about being thrown into it all. We'll ease you in. You'll always be around me anyway if you need help. Thanks, Abilene. She big lady. Look at my silhouette compared to hers. Gotta be honest, the whole operation seems like a well-oiled machine. It might not be specific kind of thing I went to school for, but I'm pretty excited to start. Well, I guess if today was my first day, then excited to continue. She turns to me, giving me a big smile and nod. We stare at each other for a moment until her smile takes a mischievous look. I owe you some stories, don't I? Hell yeah, you do. I want to hear it all. Laughing, she excitedly scoots herself over next to me. Okay, ask away. I consider your choices. I really want to know about the one on her back, but it's probably the best to save for last. I decided to start off easy. What happened to your hand? She smirks. Which one? Oh, that's right. Let's go with your left. About 15 years ago, I was working on a fishing boat. One of them big commercial fuckers. We were moored to an arbor on the west coast. Now then, you got a ship that big, you gotta secure it to the shore, right? So you need some big fucking rope to keep the ship steady. Well, we just so happened to be moored right when a huge storm was coming in. We shouldn't have done that, but my captain was a dumbass. So we dock, get everything tied and ready, and just decide to huddle inside the ship and wait things out. Except that ain't what happened. One of the dumbasses who tied off the boat half-assed it, because he didn't want to sit out the rain. So the rope falls off the bollard, and the ship starts moving away from the shoreline. Not a problem unless you're in the middle of a fucking storm getting slammed by waves. So I volunteered to get my ass out there and retie a rope. The thing is, we usually tie 2 ropes at the same time to the bollard, so it's a race against time to get the second retied before the other snapped. I sat there in excitement, chin resting in my hand, fully entranced. So I'm trying to retie this rope, but I'm having a hell of a time. The wind is shoving me around. The rain's blinding me. My hands are still frozen. I can barely tie the knots. The entire time the waves been pushing and pulling on the ship. Every time the ship was pulled away from shore, the rope would run taut and let it out a snap like a gunshot. And that kind of noise made you jump every time. Every 5 minutes of fumbling, I finally got the knots in place, and then I got this feeling in my gut. Absolute dread, forcing them back in my head, screaming to run. My dad had taught me to listen to that voice, so I dropped the rope and jumped back. Same instant, the rope snapped like a lightning bolt, letting out a noise like thunder with it. The rope barely grazed me, just enough to touch my tail, hand, and face. Didn't matter though, because it ripped my fin and fingers off all at the same. Punched this hole in my lips too, she says, gesturing the 3 scars, all scarred areas of her body. Holy shit, that's a little more than a boating accident. That shit could have cut you in half. She laughs and lays her tail across her lap, gently rubbing the damaged fin. That rope would have cut me in half. Gotta thank my gut for that. That's why I always give it what it wants. She laughs again, giving her belly a couple of hearty slaps. Well, what happened after? I ran my ass across the harbor, found a phone, called 911, and quit. Fuck that captain. Fuck his ship. I ain't getting split in half just because he thought anchor in the middle of a fucking 100-year storm was a good idea. Shit, Abilene. I'm sorry that happened, but no offense. That's kind of fucking awesome. That toothy grin spreads across her face. That toothy grin spreads across her snoot once again, her cheeks flushing. Shit, you're already shaping up to be my favorite first mate. I felt myself blush at her comment, stammering for a response for a moment, before I remembered she's got a whole other hand. What about the right hand? She sits there a moment before smiling, before swinging her muscular arm between the two of you, forming a thumbs-up gesture. I crushed this bitch between 2 boats at the 4th of July party last year, she exclaims before bursting in laughter. I can't help but join her ruckus, caught completely off guard by the tonal difference between the 2 stories. After the laughter dies down, I decide to finally ask the $1,000,000 question. So I guess that just leaves your back. As far as I can tell, what's that story? Suddenly the mood shifts, her smiling faltering. Well, I got hit in a bar fight when I was youngin'. Got thrown through a window by a barononyx. That's it. That's the whole story. She wove a whole tale of her missing fingers, and the massive back scars got a single statement. Not to mention the fact that there's no way she got 3 huge parallel scars like that from glass. She looks like she was struck by claws or a blade. They're too far clean for glass cuts. Why the sun moon changed? Does she... Ashamed? Abilene, you. I began to speak before I cut myself off. What the fuck am I doing? I wasn't there. I didn't see what went down. Maybe she really did just get hit by glass. And being ashamed to have been in a fight is a totally normal feeling. We obviously get along well, but it's none of my business either way. Deciding to not let sleeping stegos lie, I decided to try and lighten the mood a bit. I saw a smile forming on my face. I questioned her. So, did you beat the gator's ass or what? Her eyes widened for a split second. A look of disbelief in them before they softened and returned my smile. Of course I did. Put him through a table, then a window. Her smile breaks out into that grin I'm already growing fond of, and the both of us just chuckle together. We spend the next hour polishing off the six-pack she brought out, enjoying a small pleasant buzz while we make small talk. Eventually, the sun crests the horizon, signaling that it's time for me to return home. I get up, gathering my things, mentally preparing for the walk back to the bus. Hey now, anything you're walking back with all that shit? Let me drive you to the bus stop. Hell, you don't need. No, hun, shush. My coos placing a callous finger. She coos placing a callous fingers against my lips. I need you. Rested and ready for tomorrow, because I'm taking your ass out on the boat. The gauntlet begins. Oh. Alright, I have a job now. No more being a bum living at my mom's. I feel my throat tighten a tad, that familiar brick of anxiety in my gut. That same calloused hand that sarcastically silenced me finds its way to my shoulder, gently squeezing it. Oh, give me a second here. Oh, there we go. Well, take it slow. I know you ain't done this stuff before. It's okay to be worried. I'll be helping you the entire time. She bears a smile so motheringly. It'd make my own mother seethe. I assume the fluttering in my heart right now is just some side effect of anxiety. No, you want that bitch, and she wants you. Yeah, let's go with that. Anxiety. It's love. The anxiety doesn't disappear, but it doesn't get the chance to spiral out of control, simply quelled by Abilene's comforting words. I smile back at her, doing my best to hide the fear. I'll do my best. I'm happy to be here. The smile she gives me when hearing those words is so bright, it could wake up the Gulf of Mexico. We walk around the property, bidding farewell to my new coworkers. After a short ride in her truck, I arrive at the bus stop, departing her truck with a simple goodbye and a wave. We go our separate ways. Returning home after a day that was far longer than I intended, but far more fulfilling, I'm accosted by my mother as soon as I enter through the front door. With a tight hug and a kiss on my forehead. How'd it go? She holds an optimistic smile on her face, though I can tell there's a subtle nervousness to it. It's the same routine I've gone through time and time again. So many interviews taken with a cautious hope, just to have my ambition and hope dashed across a digital rock by an uncaring email 2 weeks later. So many applications. So many nights forcing myself not to cry, as my mind scours every answer. Every word I give my interviewer just to come up with no concrete answer as to why I didn't get the job. Months of misery. And it's finally fucking over. As I separate from the embrace, I can't help but to smile. As I do, my mother's smile widens, that tinge of nervousness fading. With a pride in your heart, I can finally give her the answer I deserve to give, the one she's deserved to hear. I did it, Mom. 8 months later. February 2025. I feel amazing and sweaty. I wipe my forearm across my forehead, placing the last shrimp trap I was tasked with putting away onto the stack of other traps. God, that took all fucking day. The shrimping season just finished up, and I and all of my first mate glory was given the honor of cleaning the shrimp traps and putting them back in storage. They didn't leave everything for me to do, but they definitely left most of it. Regardless of how physically exhausted I am, I feel good. Learning to do everything that the job required was rough. I knew that there would be a physical component to learn, but I didn't expect how much mental effort the job would take. There's so many things to memorize. Knots, how to drive a boat, how to get the smell of shrimp off of me, how to make Abilene laugh. Well, don't know about that last thing. Wait. No, wanting to make my boss laugh is a totally normal thing. And if they're laughing, they're in a good mood, and if they're in a good mood, my life's easier. Yeah, that makes sense. Who the hell am I kidding? I've got it bad for Abilene. Bald head over pasty hills, but there's no way I'm ever going to pursue these feelings. She's my boss. And I'd be content to keep things how they are, but they've changed for some reason. Abilene had a definite flirtiness to her, a trait especially evidenced by the fact that my accidental pickup line landed me this job off rip. But now she's become distant. Cold? I'm not sure how to describe it, but that flirtiness and chumminess she had with me for the first 6 months of my employment has slowly faded away. Her quality as a boss and teacher certainly hasn't waned in the slightest, but I miss the slaps on the back, the compliments, her calling me sweetie and sugar. Especially miss those two. Regardless, I'm here to do a job. One that I've become damn fine at. I don't care of the super serious stuff on my own. I don't take care of the super serious stuff on my own, but I'm by Abilene's side every hour on the job. Every tour and every trip taken, we've take together. I'm proud of the progress I've made. Maybe she wanted you to take the step. Maybe she's getting cold with you because you haven't tried to make it official. Now she's just protecting herself. With the last of the equipment put away, the task of mine is done for the week, and I'm set to go home for the day. Free to enjoy my sparse free time is what I would be doing if I didn't have it planned most clever in the works. I bought a 6-pack of Abilene's favorite beer. Maybe Abilene would be down for a post-work beer. That was one of our favorite end of the work week traditions, at least until she started acting aloof. She's always been the one to ask for it, so perhaps if I do this time, she won't be able to resist the temptation. I hope. After cleaning myself off, I head to my car and grab the 6-pack I hid in the back. Thankfully, I've been able to purchase my own vehicle with the money I've saved from working. Another great thing I owe to Abilene. I began my trek around the property, searching around for my cetacean drinking buddy. She stepped away at some point after I started putting the equipment away, so I have no clue where she went. After 20 minutes of searching, I came up whaleless. She's not in the gift shop, wasn't in either house. I tried asking Abigail and Atticus, they both had no idea either. After some thinking, it dawns on me. If she hasn't left the property, then she must be at her apiary. If not there, then she may actually have left to go run errands or something. After the short walk to the edge of the property, I spot her crouched amongst the white boxes that shelter her precious bee buddies. She's just kneeling there, arms crossed, her legs snuggled on them. The sight fills my belly with heavy anxiety, quickly drying my mouth out in anticipation of however this conversation is going to go. That's not good. Every time I've seen her with her bees, she'd be walking through the nest, dotting on them, puppy talking to them to a degree that's almost too embarrassing to watch. But now, she's just staring at him. Should I even be here right now? This probably isn't the time. Wait, she's saying something. She's talking to herself. Shit, I really shouldn't be here. It's going to look like I've been eavesdropping. I really don't want to hear whatever she's thinking out loud, but as much as I don't want it, I can't help but partially hear things she's mumbling aloud. Just fucking tell him already. There's no way he'd ain't do this. God, why did I have... What the hell is she saying? Who's she talking to? Who is she talking about? No, this isn't my fucking business. Just get the hell out of... Shit. She's looking back at me. Oh fuck, she noticed me. She's looking back at me, eyes wide, the color drained from her saffron face. She stands up and turns to me, that bewilderment expression souring into a scowl. Okay, let's think about this logically. To her, it looks like I was eavesdropping during a moment of solace, which is kind of what I was doing. But not intentionally. Why am I thinking this to myself instead of just fucking fixing this? A mental eternity passes as 100 responses fly through my head, all of them sounding like they'd make everything worse. But after that was actually just for a second or two, one answer arises out of this sea of cringe responses. Abilene's a simple woman, so I gotta give her a simple answer. I swing a six-pack in front of me and put the most sincere smile I can manage. Drinks. Her scowl melts away. That bewilderment looked returning. Soon that too fades into a small smile creeps across her snout. She sits there and lets out a sigh. Abilene closes her eyes, lips subtly moving as she fights some sort of mental battle with herself. Eventually, she gives me a small nod, mouthing okay to herself. Not here, Shug. Let's go, take this out on the boat, Grant, why would we? The fishing boat at the dog, Sugar. I mentally facepalm. Oh yeah, no shit. But hey, she called me Sugar. That's a good sign. The short walk ends at the dock with the two of us looking down at the boat, readying to get inside when I hear the sound of the back door of the house opening. I can make out a familiar lilac figure running out onto the porch. Annabelle makes it to the railing and throws out a thumbs up. You got this. God damn. I guess Abigail or Atticus told her about my search for Abilene. I give a hearty thumbs up back to Annabelle before turning back to the boat just to see that Abilene is also returning Abigail. Annabelle's thumbs up. God damn, there's too many names with the A. Well, why would she be giving Abilene a thumbs up? The two of us give each other a confused look before finally getting into the boat. My question unanswered. They both have the hots. I set the six-pack down and get into the passenger seat as Abilene takes the helm. Soon enough, the two of us are out on open water, giving me a view of the peach-colored sky, interrupted only by the sun beginning its descent below the horizon. With the boat's engine turned off, the only sound that accompanies the two of us is the gentle lapping of the water on the hull of the boat. After we move to the bench at the stern of the small boat, the silence is interrupted by the wonderful crisp snap of room temperature beer being cracked open. It seems Abilene decided to take the first move. No reason to not follow suit now. I crack open a can, downing half of it in one drink, praying that the buzz hits me fast. Some liquid courage would be fantastic to enable me to get my thoughts and feelings out. I'm not sure how I can do this sober. The two of us slay our cans, then kill another one, all while sitting in the most awkward silence I've ever had the misfortune of being stuck in. No, she got big sad. She big her too. Why the hell isn't she saying anything? I know why I'm not, obviously, but normally she'd be talking my ear off, trying to show me how to tie a new knot. Maybe she doesn't want to talk? Just chill? With how distant she's become, I'm not really sure what to think. It's like trying to guess the feelings of a brick wall. A thought occurs to me like a 6 seed planted suddenly growing to reach its potential. She's not going to fire me, is she? She'd totally just tell me the bad news in my face, right? Not take me out to a boat where I can't escape and lay me off. There's no way. There has to be no way. The general anxiety I've had in my gut all day fires up into my throat like a bottle rocket, paralyzing my ability to speak. Fuck. I barely feel like I can talk right now, but I have to ask. I have to know. Maybe I just got too cocky and failed to see how I was falling short. How would I know if I never would have done this stuff before? Okay, good. I can do this. Abilene? She was obviously in her own world as she jumps from a small bit at hearing her own name. Yes? Okay, here goes. Just rip the band-aid off. Who cares if I lose the first job I've ever genuinely enjoyed? Who cares if I can't spend any more time with Abilene and her family? Who cares if I failed my mother again? Oh, damn, I care. I care about all those things. Are you firing me? My voice is far hoarser than normal, breaking from the surge of my negative thoughts boiling in my head. It feels like all that shit bottled up in those 3 miserable years of job searching is coming back with a renewed vigor. God damn it, I'm going to spiral myself into a bad place, and she hasn't even answered me. She squints at me, eyes scanning my face. It feels like ages before she answers me, a minute smirk at the edges of her mouth. Andy, why the fuck would I fire you? Oh, thank fuck. I let out a breath I hadn't noticed I was holding and leaned forward with my head in my hands. Thank God. I was in a death spiral there. I should probably try therapy. That was kind of scary. After letting the negative emotions wash out of me, I lean back and look at Abilene, who has a look of genuine worry mixed with a smile. Alright, this is really embarrassing, actually. Maybe I'll just swim back. Drowning might be a pleasant distraction. You like this job that much, huh? She catches me off guard. Of course I do. But it's not just that. Maybe I won't ever confess to her. You gotta tell her. Tell her now. Lady, it's not the job. I like spending my time with you. My boss, a woman 10 years older than me? Another meteorite will hit Earth before that happens. But maybe if I was present in the right way, I could stick around a bit longer. I like working with you that much, Abilene. Her breath hitches for a second before she looks away. She interlocks her fingers together and places them over her eyes, contemplating her next words. I'm not sure if that's a good sign or not. I'm just a fucking coward. What? A coward? What's she talking about? Abilene, what the fuck are you talking about? She takes a shaky breath before continuing, still refusing to look at me. Everybody here always talking about me like I'm some sort of hero or something, but I ain't. Only thing I am is a coward. That does nothing to assuage my confusion and growing curiosity. How are you, of all people, a coward? I haven't seen you shy away from anything. Ever. That shit don't matter, but when shit does matter, even when life throws a few real tests of character at you, I bolt. Bolt? Run away? Abilene, I can't. I don't. You gotta be straight with me. I can't understand if you just be vague. She visibly grimaces at my bluntness, but quickly nods and lets out a sigh. She sucks in a breath, preparing her answer. I fibbed to you back when we first met. Well, I mean your first day here, about my scars. I shift around aimlessly as I struggle to remember. Scars her hands, face, and back. I mean, some embellishment in stories is pretty normal. Everyone does it, Abilene. No, that ain't it. It's my back. I think back to the first day. Her hands, her tail, and her face were from a rope tied to a bollard snapping, and her thumb got crushed at a party or something. And her back. She got in a fight, if I'm recalling correctly, got thrown into a table or mirror, something sharp. Well, I guess I can't say I can judge you from lying about it. It's your body and your story. Sometimes it's just for you to know. Sugar, I don't care a lick that I lied about my back. It's the actual story behind it that matters. Alright, strike two. Maybe I should just shut up and let her talk. She takes my silence as her signal to continue. Okay. Just let me get through this. I don't think I can muster up the courage if I stop. I simply nod in response. Long as I remember, it was just me, my brother, sister, and my daddy. Just us four in the business. Been the family for decades. My siblings didn't care much for it. At least when they were youngins. It's really just me and Daddy doing everything. We did it all. Shrimping, maintenance, tours, whatever. Together, ever since I was a kid, then he died. Found him passed away on the deck of the Kraken. Doctor said his heart couldn't take the strain from moving shit around no more. Some point, my hand found its way to her back, my fingers gently running across the developed muscle and scar tissue on her back, giving whatever silent reassurance they could manage. Happened when I was in my early 20s. By that point, Abigail and Atticus had moved out, leaving me to take over. Said I wasn't ready. I couldn't do it without him, and everyone wanted me to do it. I couldn't do it. So I just upped and left. Didn't tell nobody what I was doing, where I was going. Eventually I ended up working some big commercial boats. Worked like that a couple years. Same ones lost my fingers in. She looks at me, eyes scanning my face, see how I'm taking in her story. The last thing she'd want right now is pity, so I give her my best reassuring smile. How'd you end up back here? She looks away, eyes aimlessly pointed towards the horizon, not looking at, but taking in the sunset. There's not a lot to do on the shits besides your job, so I either work or sleep. The sea is beautiful, but staying on it 24/7, it loses its appeal real quick like. So when you can't sleep and you're not working, you're just left to your own thoughts. I couldn't handle that, so I started drinking. I never let it stop me from doing my job, but if I wasn't working, I wasn't sober. I just, my daddy dying, and how I ran, I wish I had it, but I couldn't go back. I knew everyone would just be so disappointed. The looks I knew they'd given me if I went back, the drink kept those out of my head. Her face scrunches up for a moment, but she manages to keep the tears in check. Everybody always knew I'd take it all over, but thoughts I'd get more time with them. for all the weight was put on my shoulders. I'm now fully on her side, bodies touching, my arm still giving her a comforting touch. She shakes her head, re-psyching herself up. The last fishing boat I ever worked on, I had made good friends with the crew, the cat more than anyone. This... Oh, God. There... Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
The Rhizinosaurus.
There we go. One more time.
The Rhizinosaurus.
The Rhizinosaurus. You know him, right? I do now. That's that weird feathered dinosaur with the really long fingies, who was also the teacher in the last game I played. Your teacher, Miss Thompson. Okay. The last fishing boat I ever worked on. Okay, I got that. I racked my brain for a second, sorting through the smell of selection dinosaurs. I know. Oh, God. They're the ones with the big claws for fingers, right? Like, they could snap a man in half? Abilene dryly. Oh, no. Was this a domestic dispute? Oh, no. Something like that. A lot of crews full of people just there to do their job. Don't care, talk, or hang out. Not their fault, but it makes things boring. But these people, friends, right off the bat. Despite that, I couldn't give up the drink. So one day we were packing up port, New Orleans. So I was really on edge, out at a bar, and they're all drinking, but me, I'm drunk. Almost blackout. Wish I'd been, so I remember what happened. This Thero? The only person I ever told about what I did up to that point. As ashamed as I am about it, I need to tell someone. Dread starts to build inside me. The dots are connecting in my head. I had those feelings, those scars were too clean I've been from a window. Oh no, are we getting a flashback? At some point, he just let a little comment slip out about it. Some shitty little joke about run from my problems, I think. I could tell he immediately regretted it because he started to apologize. But that made everyone else curious, so they started badgering both of us. And I just went nuclear. Little simple slip of his tongue, and I was in his face yelling and screaming about trust and shit. I went too far. Made a comment about his estranged daughter, something he hated more than anything. Never seen him that mad, but he still didn't do anything, and that made me mad. So with all that liquid courage, I shoved him over a table and told him his daughter would never love a daddy who wasn't man enough to fight back. Raptor Jesus. She started to let out the weak sobs of her head and fell into her hands again. Turned around to stumble out the bar, and he got me good with those claws of his. Split him shoulder to ass 3 ways. Passed out right there. Woke up in the hospital, nearly died, blood loss. Naturally, he fired my ass. I failed to muster any sort of response to all this. I figured there'd be some shame. But this... Never would I have guessed that Abilene, of all people, would do something like that. Well, that's like the equivalent of, like, I hit a dude and was leaving the situation, so they pulled a Bowie knife and fucking gutted me with it. Like, that's not even, like, self-defense. I would assume in a world where dinosaurs with, like, natural fucking self-defense mechanisms they've evolved into, and society around it would kind of, like, hey, the dinosaur with fucking kitchen knives for fingers. You can't be slashing people because there's no difference between that and just the human using kitchen knives to slash people. I don't know. So we'll see. So bloody hungover, wanting to die, nothing left. I just wandered back home. Stumbled in the front door like a burglar, and who's waiting for me there? Abigail. She doesn't say anything. She just starts fucking crying. I don't think we met Abigail. We met Annabelle, the sister-in-law. She doesn't say anything. She just starts fucking crying. Runs up to me, nearly splits my stitches with a hug. It was like I never left. She never questioned me, just showered me in love. I can love you. She pauses to recollect herself and get her crying under control. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Then she calls up Atticus. I tried to stop her, but I barely had the energy to stay awake at that point. And so in he walks with a fucking wife. Then he and Abigail both fucking crush me in a hug. All those nights I spent hunted by the looks I knew they'd give me, how much they'd shit on me for being a coward I am. But they just didn't care. Loved me like I never left. The worst sister in the world, and I get the best siblings ever. I finally decided to speak up. Did they ask what happened and what the business and the business didn't go under with everyone gone? She sniffs and manages to turn her gaze towards me. Autumn's eyes stained red from the tears. I almost lied. After all that, I almost lied to their faces. That fucking evil part of my soul just wouldn't let me be. But I did tell them. Everything. How it felt finding Daddy's body. Yeah, that's horrible. That is genuinely horrible. Running away. My scars. While I was wrapped up in gauze like a burn victim. Was like pulling teeth, but I did it. They didn't pity me. But they didn't excuse what I did either. And Abigail came back, had been running the gift shop on her own. She kept things afloat, barely. She has always been more for the numbers side of things, but she can upsell like crazy. That makes the both of us laugh, breaking the cement thick tension. So turns out a lot of things I learned on those boats came in handy for running our family stuff. With everyone getting together, we managed to turn it all around, making it into what it is today. Took a decade, but we did it. Shrimping, recovering, living. Couldn't have done it all without them. Besides, my time to give my thought. Damn it. It just transitions so easily. Listen, this happened a while ago for you, so you don't need me. This happened a while ago for you, so you don't need me patting my back and calling you brave. Shouldn't that be your back calling you brave? You fucked up and you still kept moving forward. I sincerely respect that. The business is thriving because of all your effort. You should acknowledge that as much as you acknowledge your mistakes. If you're stuck focusing on your past mistakes, you're not going to be able to appreciate your current successes. And that's a disservice to the people who helped you achieve them. Thank you, PSA. But you don't need me lecturing you. I guess ultimately, all I've known is the Abilene who made it through it all. I wouldn't feel right to say it was all worth it, but I wouldn't trade you for anyone else. She quietly nods in response to my words. She probably heard those words before, but I need her to know that I don't judge her for what she's done. Besides that, there's still a question my curiosity has itching in my head. Abilene, why are you telling me all this? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy you trust me enough to do it, but why? I'm just your employee. It hurts to say that. I know that's all I'll ever be, yet my heart burns for the chance to become more than that. Oh my god, she's gonna confess. She spilled her heart out to me, so maybe I can tell her my feelings all the same. You've been colder recently. We used to hang out and talk. Now it's just work, work, and no more fun. I miss my friend. I miss you. She sits there taking in my words at first. She's still, then she begins to shift around in her seat. Soon enough, she begins to rub her hands up and down her face in exasperation. Fuck! Christ, I can't help jump back, startled by her own outburst. That is why, because I'm a fucking coward, Andy. What is she? I'm running again. She's got me hard and I turn tail and run like a bitch. Abilene, you're being vague again. What the fuck are you talking about? Andy, how I been? That's how I treat all my employees. So she really just sees me as an underling, but then why was she so much warmer to me initially? You were so friendly at the beginning. Did I do something? I swear if it's because I can't tie rolling hitches. Nah, you shithead. She lets out a frustrated growl. Listen, sweetheart. I ain't the most skilled at things involving romance. I'm a 36-year-old woman who spent her entire life around asshole sailors and men who smell like asshole sailors. Sailors' assholes. There. Love ain't the first thing on my mind, not on a ship, that's for sure. But in here walks you a sweet young guy who hits on me right off the bat. No need for her to remind me. I still spend the occasional hour thinking about my first day, slamming my head against the acrylic walls of the cleaning refinement out of my embarrassment. As dense as I am, as any guy can be, I feel like I'm starting to catch what she's dripping. So we're friends right off the bat, can talk and joke for hours, feels like we've been friends for life. Except, then I start to think about it. I'm just some fat old lady that got like a decade on him, and he's a human to boot. I know I ain't what your skinny's like. She gestured to her whole body. She's dead wrong about what humans like, that's for sure. And above all that, I'm his boss. It ain't right. A lady like me don't deserve that kind of thing. She whispers with a sniffle. I can see what she's getting at. Anyone could. And because of it, my heart has begun to hammer like artillery in my chest. There's no way this is happening. So I start run again, tried to kill what we had going on. Didn't hang out, no more flirting. Never having, love sucks. But getting something close to it, then quitting it cold turkey, hardest thing I've ever done since I came back here. I just didn't want to get hurt again. I ain't sure I could take it again, not from you. Love. She said love. You love. Good God, I might pass out. A marathon would have had my heart hammering like this. Of course, everyone else noticed. These kinds of things are always obvious to everything else. So Annabelle sits me down last week and she says to me, honey, you're running again. Start running from him. Annabelle sits. Abilene, damn it! Sits back down with her snoot facing down and towards me. I can see how scared she is, her pupils pinpricks. Terrified. I ain't fucking running. The unsaid part of a first mate's job is to make life easier for the captain. Do the menial stuff, keep things organized. That stuff that can go unnoticed, though. Abilene always noticed. Always said thank you, gave me a smile warm enough to sublimate a glacier. She's been struggling to do this. This is nearly a year of pent up feelings, and she obviously thinks she'll be rejected. She's been working so hard. How about I make it easier for her? It's about time I do my job. Andy, she's cut off my hand. She's cut off as my hand slides down the length of her snoot, settling on her cheek. She's utterly stunned, the fine dusting of blush she had on her face exploding into the band of crimson. I gently pull her down to my level and I give her my answer. Our lips meet for the first time of many. Her eyes flutter shut as she leans in the embrace, her calloused hands and muscular arms wrapping around me. We gently cradle each other, the beauty of sunset and the quiet waters dwarfed by the unfettering of my feelings. With lips gently sliding against hers, I take in the smells, salt, sweat, and lavender. Everything feels right. We break my embrace as much as neither of us want to do that. I've got a feeling that might have escalated. But that's a bit too fast for a relationship that just started in the last 2 minutes. Things become awkward for a moment as the realization of everything that just occurred begins to hit. Oh boy, my boss, my girlfriend now, I guess. Guess there's no HR here. Abilene breaks the tension with a giggle. You know, you're a pretty good kisser. Thank you. I'm very well practiced. Do pillows really count as practice? I guess that's that then. Come on, honey. Let's get back home. Oh, damn. Home had really begun to feel like that until she started to. What the hell? Preferences. Oh, that's weird. It's already begun to feel like that until she started to distance herself, but now that feeling has returned, 100-fold stronger. Wordlessly, she starts the boat back up and the return home starts. She turns to me, her hand sneaking its way into mine, her fingers interlocking with mine in a warm grip. The rest of the boat ride home is spent with the two of us attempting to make small talk. But we both catch the wayward glances we steal at each other, interrupting our conversations with giggles and burning cheeks. Upon our return to the dock, we break away from each other, my hand feeling much lonelier without hers to accompany it. With the boat moored, my trek back up the docks begins. Oh, we finally get to see the sister and brother. As we make our way back, I make out everyone standing at the porch. They're all gathered along the railing closest to the dock, excitedly leaning on it. What the hell are they doing? As I contemplate their enigmatic buffoonery, movement of the peripheral of my vision reveals that Abilene has raised her right hand into the air with a thumbs up. Her snoot as well exploded into the widest smile I've ever seen her face. What the hell's going on? My thoughts are interrupted again as the porch full of dinosaurs erupts in the cheers. They jump and celebrate together, the porch somehow maintaining its integrity under the stress of that well-weighted welcoming. I sit there, mouth agape, as my brain attempts to give itself an understanding of its confusing situation. A thumbs up. Annabelle gives us a thumbs up before we left, and I didn't get why she gave it to Abilene. Unless she knew what Abilene wanted to do. And that thumbs up wasn't for me. Oh, I get it. Everyone was in on it. I've been the crush, the victim of the crushing cetacean conspiracy. My hands find their way to my face, attempting to shield my burning cheeks from the outside world. Even though this was definitely the outcome I dreamed of, I can't help but be embarrassed. And embarrassed I continue to be as I yelp in surprise as Abilene grabs me with little effort, hoisting me into a bridal carry. It keeps getting worse. As she carries me down the dock, the laughter of her, my family dying down, she looks down at me, eyes on fire with affection. Her cheeks begin to flush with intense scarlet. You know, I didn't get to say it since you interrupted me. Not every gentlemanly of you, by the way. Stole my damn thunder. I laugh at her chiding. Hey, I started this whole thing when I put the moves on you. I should get to finish it. My heart flutters at the smile she gives me in return. She lets out a long, satisfied sigh, like she had been holding in a breath for months. With words dripping with adoration that makes my heart hammer, she says that the words I've been dreaming of hearing from someone my whole life. Andy, I love you. My face almost hurts with how wide my smile became at hearing those words. I love you too. My arms snake their way back around her neck as I pull her snoot down to kiss her. With every ounce of passion that's been building in my soul, our embrace only broken because neither of us can kiss when we're both smiling so much. The familiar cheering starts up again, and with it, I can finally truthfully say that I'm proud that I've become a man worth being loved by a woman like her. Every struggle, every moment of doubt, every pain was worth it to get here. I deserve to be this happy. Chapter 2 finished. To be continued. Returning to main menu. I liked it. I wonder if it's just gonna be like an actual like visual novel in the sense of just the story played out in visual format and not a choice based game like the other Snoot games, because there was not a single choice like character option in the hour plus of that demo. But that being said, I do like it. I definitely want to see more of AbilonginForYa. Like, I do like that it breaks away from high school romance. I do like that they're adults. It's an adult romance. I do like they started off quickly with a romance because when two people like each other, people go at their different paces, and all the other ones, you piddle a paddle around it for fucking half the fucking game, and this one gets it done in an hour and a half. I'm more interested in seeing the game play out the romance of the two people with a decade apart and handle the employee-employer, now boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I want to see the siblings. I want to know how it plays out with mom and see mom. And yeah, I really like this one. I'm glad I actually got around to playing it and just instead of just seeing updates for it on fucking Twitter. And I will keep looking out for it on fucking Twitter to potentially play it a full release or other demos as they come out. Well, thank you. Good night. Have fun. Like and subscribe. Do all that fun shit.